You know, I titled this thumbnail the most ironic episode of Real Housewives of Potomac yet. And one of the pieces of irony, I don't know if you guys caught this or if it was lost on you, but it definitely wasn't lost on me. But I want you to chime down in the chatterization if you caught this bit of irony. So we have here a post on the Bravo Shade Room from Robin Dixon's Instagram where she says, all laughs most of the time, except when there's no comfortable bathroom to use on an adult couples trip. Now, let me tell you the irony. The irony here is that it was at Giselle and Robin's reasonably shady party where Giselle was not going to allow Karen and Wendy inside her house to use the bathroom. And Robin convinced her otherwise. Now, it was also at said event that Giselle announced to Wendy and Karen and the rest of the ladies that she was almost not going to allow them inside her home to use the bathroom. So it is quite ironic here that Wendy has put the two of these ladies. Well, Wendy didn't put them there. They're there by their own volition and they're there late because of their own desire to not come to the trip. Since they got there last, they have the last room with no bathroom, and they would actually have to walk downstairs to get to the next comfortable bathroom. And the double irony is that in order for Giselle to do that, she would have to get downstairs on a broken toe. The irony. Wow. Let's get into the episode. What's going on, Sky Squad? We back in the building, baby. Happy Monday, and we are talking the Real Housewives of Potomac, season 6, episode 14, baby. We talking episode 14. Let me tell you something. This was another good episode. This was another good episode, and I want y'all to know it's the smile for me. It's the smile right here for me. When I tell you I had to rewind this little part right here with Candiace giving Ashley this good old grin right here, baby, I laughed and I cackled my hardest, okay? Also, too, Karen right here with the massive side eye. Let me tell you something. This is probably one of the best side eyes I've happened to see on reality TV. And it was such a move. It was such a moment right here because it had me wondering if Karen was really trying to analyze whether or not Candiace had actually indeed heard about Mia's mama before giving that insult about her mama being low budget, because it was such a targeted insult and one that we have not ever heard from Candiace before. So Karen, I think like plenty of us, was wondering the same thing. Now, of course, Candiace said she hadn't heard about it before, so we're going to let it go. But you can see Karen's mind working right here, trying to determine and analyze, has she heard this before, and did she just choose to go there with that insult? We're going to talk about it a little bit. We're going to get into a little discussion about it. But before we do that, I want you guys to let me know in the chatterization where you guys are watching from. Because, you know, I see Houston is in the building, okay? Who else is in here? Who else is in here? I see, who else we got up in the building? Who else? Who else? Phoenix is in the house. Okay. Hey, Canada's in the building. Barbados is in attendance, baby. Hey. Who else we got up in here? Sagamore Hills. I see you. I see you. I see you. No hat today, y'all. I just did Good Day DC. Y'all know what? I really actually hate the shape of my head. That's why I wear hats all the time. I feel like I could be transparent with y'all. Y'all, I mean, listen, judge me if you want to. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. But I always hate the shape of my head, so I'm like, I never wear hats. But you know, what you gonna do when you got a bald head? Okay, let's go ahead and rock it. Bald head tees. With that being said, y'all, thank you so much for tuning in today. We got to get into a couple of different things. Oh, thank you, Mountain Kitty. Yeah, we did Good Day DC just about about an hour ago. Talked a little bit about Potomac. Talked a little bit about the Rock rapping, Drake, Adele, all that good stuff like that. But now it's time to talk Potomac. Now it's time to talk Potomac. And the first thing I want to do, baby, we got to rate this episode. We're going to rate this episode on a scale of 1 to 10. Now, the episode is called Tossing Salads and Spilling Tea Bags. Okay? Spilling the tea bags. Okay? Y'all know what that tea bag is. I'm going to rate this episode a 10. Okay? Now, the reason I'm going to rate this episode a 10 is because I feel like it was probably one of the most ironic episodes of Real Housewives of Potomac yet. And really, it's the type of episode you can only get to in your 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 seasons, okay? Because you have to have some history there in order for us to really reference the callbacks that we're pointing to make our irony theory stick, okay? We got a super chat in the building who says, Candiace admits that she didn't know about Mia's mom at Giselle's event, but when event happened, she did, and she still chose to be disgusting. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you, Diamond Princess 28. Okay. So here's the thing. I'm gonna point out why I give it a 10, okay? Because of the irony of this episode. Irony 1, we talked about in the intro of this video about the bathroom scenario. You know, this was such an interesting thing that now Robin and Giselle are without a bathroom in their room when they finally do make it to the cast trip. Ironic, okay? Also ironic was the conversation that Candiace had with Mia in the midst of their argument, wherein Candiace tells her, don't put your hand in my face. I have been through that here with this group before, so don't do that to me. Interesting that she is on the other side of that argument, because it tells me that now she understands the dangers of putting one's hands in one's face. So it was, to me, an interesting moment to see her kind of have that realization. And she may have had that realization before. We just don't know about it. But it's also ironic that she does find herself in another situation where things look to be getting so heated that, you know, items are being tossed back and fro and to and from. Okay. Also, another bit of irony for me was this idea that, you know, Ashley, who tends to like to, you know, stir the tea bag, if you will, is privy to this actual incident this time. But in fact, when she addresses Candiace, she still kind of gets it wrong. So you're finally there in an altercation, but she kind of gets the details of the event wrong when she is kind of going at Candiace. Now, the other piece of irony here is Giselle and Robin thinking to themselves and vocalizing that they feel as though Candiace has not learned her lesson. Learn from the lunchbox, as Nene Leak says, that Candiace has not learned her lesson. And I think Robin even almost quietly used the word baiting, as though Candiace may have been baiting someone. And they feel as though everything she went through last year was in vain. The other bit of irony here is watching Candiace and Chris at the table as he struggles to try to reel her in, and she is, you know, physically trying to get him off of her because she is, upset and trying to make her points, and he's trying to calm her down. It's just kind of ironic given the notion that, a lot of people feel like Candiace, says a lot of things that are provocative, and her husband is the one who really has to always kind of come in to be the person to calm her down, even as she struggles against him. Okay. Tom Tim says, this is the second time Candiace is realizing putting your hand in someone's face is wrong. The first was at the spa for Ashley's baby shower. The spa for Ashley's baby shower. The spa for Ashley's baby shower. Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about now. So all of these moments to me were just ironic. And thank you, Tom Tim Productions, for that super chat. And I wanted to point those things out before we dive into the episode, because again, the irony here is poetic. And the producers seem to realize it because they take every opportunity they can to bring in the flashbacks as well. Also, the irony of Candiace calling Michael a slave driver when she, I guess the reference is to the fact that Ashley is with a white man. But also, too, it's ironic that Candiace is saying that when she, too, is with a white man. So it's just odd. It's just interesting. It's very interesting, and it makes for a very dynamic and juicy watch, okay? So JMW says, Candiace disrespected her own husband 2 times in one episode. She didn't even get up to check on him until everybody else told her to. And then to tell Ashley it's her fault for last year, it's a no. Thank you for that super chat. JMW in the building, y'all. Who else we got up in here? We got Camilla, who says, her flaying at the table was such childlike behavior. My 6-year-old child used to do that. Thank you for that super chat, Camilla Westbrook, as well. Let me see if I missed anything else as we were going along. Oh, Miss Nikeno says, can we talk about Escala telling Candiace that she was cute for crying on cue? I did notice that as well. Escala was like, girl, those tears, because in one breath they were kind of there, and in the next breath they weren't. You know what I'm saying? So it was just so much happening, and there were so many little moments. But we're gonna dive into those right now because I've given y'all enough of that. Let's get into the actual episode. Okay. So we start this episode off with Candiace and Mia still going at it. We get Mia tossing the lettuce and scurrying from the room. Listen, when you toss some lettuce at somebody, you best to get on up out of the room before they get a chance to hit you back with the lettuce, okay? Because otherwise your lettuce toss is in vain. So Mia was out of that room like a road runner, and she had left. She comes back into the room. They still going at it. Mia is breaking dishes, trying to explain to Candiace about her mother. Candiace is upset and telling Mia she don't care, and she knocking over things in the process as well. Karen confronts Candiace about if she knew about Mia's mom or not. But at the time, Candiace says, I don't care. And then she tells G to get his hoe out of there. Now, it's one thing we can debate about whether or not, Candiace is and Mia, who is wrong in this situation. I feel like they both have some wrong in this situation. But I think the thing that I really don't like in this case is that Candiace is talking to G, and she's really kind of disrespecting him in the process of trying to take her jabs at Mia. I don't really like that because I just kind of feel like if he were to say something back to her, everybody would jump on him. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't think it's cool when the women try to, engage with the husbands in some type of argument or altercation and bring them into it. Because again, nobody's going to want that, because then everybody's going to say if he claps back at her that he's getting into women's business. But she's bringing him into it. And I just feel like, leave that alone, okay? Wendy has to go get Eddie and Chris. Escala just wanted some salad to eat. And listen, I understand Escala. A lot of times, we just hungry. And there go the food, all on the floor. Wendy's worried about her wig because listen, y'all not about to get Wendy with her good wig, and she's worried about the salad being tossed and the wig flying off. All right. So anyway, Candiace wants the pimp and the hoe to leave, and Chris has to escort her outside. Now Candiace is outside, she's crying, and Chris tells her that she is basically acting like a child. Okay. And then Chris asks her if she is insecure. And I thought this was very, very interesting and such a great conversation to watch because it really did hit at, I feel like, the way Candiace had been acting. And it was interesting that it was Chris who is having to give her this bit of tough love. Okay. He coaches her that when she responds the way she's responding to someone calling her video low budget, that she's responding out of insecurity. And as he's trying to coach her through this, she's really not trying to hear it. And he really wants her to go back inside and tell Mia, listen, I'm not going to disrespect you, but you cannot disrespect me. And I have to tell you guys, I really, in this episode, there were so many points. I already respect Chris Bassett in general, but I feel like I respected him even more for trying to talk her down off a ledge. And it makes me feel like, Candiace may be used to acting out to get that level of attention, but I just feel like Chris is definitely the only person who could probably calm her down enough outside of her mother, especially in this group, to get her to sort of maybe listen to his rationale. Okay. We got Tweety17 with the super chat. Thank you, boo. So Karen, Ashley, and Wendy try to talk Mia out of leaving because she's upset about her mom hearing these comments and relapsing. Escala tries to tell Mia that Candiace is upset about the low budget comment. Mia gets into, well, I grew my business from nothing, so I understand having a low budget, and now I make $450,000 a year. And Escala is like, oh, girl, no, we don't want to hear about your salary or nothing like that. Because really, I get what she's saying, sort of talking about the salary when it comes to this group. If the group is not really talking about that, I feel like it is, you kind of have to read the room. And we've talked about this before. So, for Mia, though, she feels like, well, I worked hard for this. But Escala is like, well, listen, let's just maybe focus on having a good time and not talking about job titles and how much we got in the bank. Okay. We got a super chat from Shayna Glover who says, off topic, but your beard is looking extra luxurious. What do you use on it? So I use argan oil. I get it from the little beauty supply store in the mall. Yeah. Easy breezy. So that's that. Thank you, boo. So, anyway, the ladies convinced Mia to stay. Karen, Mia, and G have a moment by the stairs. And I guess G is complimenting Karen on how good she looks, but he's doing a little licking the tongue out or whatever. Now, listen, I don't think there's nothing wrong with complimenting another man's wife. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't feel like it was disrespectful in the words that he used. But the tongue, my sir, the tongue was like a what? Okay, sir, you drunk. You probably just need to go to bed, because at that point in time, I just felt like, Mia, go ahead and put this man to sleep, because I think it's time. It's time. Okay. What we also learned in this situation, though, is a little bit more about how Mia and G met. Okay. Now, apparently, he did meet her at the strip club. Okay. But they just had conversations, and the conversation we learned was about a $10,000 conversation for 2 hours of her time. Okay. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, well, how long did y'all talk? Because, it just got me to thinking. I always like to think about my time in terms of work. Because, I was a consultant before I got into news. And I would think, sometimes when you first start off in consulting, you could be charging about, I don't know, maybe about $60 an hour if you're working in IT. But as you get on up there, you can charge about $100 an hour in IT. And so then I started just trying to do the math. And I was like, well, I mean, if it was 2 hours at a time, that means it was about $5,000 per hour. I'm definitely undercharging for my time at work. That's what I came away with this conversation thinking. I need to raise my prices, okay? I mean, luckily I'm not doing that no more. But in the meantime, I'm just thinking to myself, I was lowballing it, okay? I was lowballing it. Maybe she need to talk to me about some money because I definitely feel like I was at the low end of the totem pole. But I digress. Mel J says, I'm confused about Skylar, though. She's a friend of Robin's, but never with Robin. Oh, a Skylar. Yes, a Skylar. First of all, Mel J, thank you for this beautiful super chat right here on this good Monday morning. We're going to send up some, woo! Okay, thank you so much for it. I appreciate it. But you're right. We never really see her with Robin. Okay, we always, more often than not, we see a Skylar without Robin, which is very interesting. She should have been brought on by Wendy, if anything, because I feel like she might be closer to Wendy or Candace than anybody else. We got another super chat from Jamie who says, my thing about Mia is the show was literally made to showcase lavish lifestyles. They're supposed to be shady over houses and money, not childhood trauma. Well, you know what? You're right about that. You are right about that, because the premise of this show, or at least the Real Housewives of Atlanta and the Real Housewives of Orange County, was that we were getting a glimpse of the lifestyle behind the gates, okay? We're supposed to be getting a glimpse into the lifestyle behind the gates. And maybe this is behind the gates. Maybe we're getting back to being behind the gates. I don't know. Okay? We got Marquita Murray who says, I'm sure Miss Dorothy has called Chris Bassett low budget. 3 kids, no job. So low budget is a sore spot. So low budget is a sore spot for Candy Child. Woo, Marquita. Thank you so much for that super chat. Boo. All right. Now, let's see here. Oh, somebody said, I saw a comment that I wanted to address, but I can't see it now. Oh, well. Jamie says, and the bragging only an issue because these housewives don't even be rich no more. Robin barely got a house. Jamie Carter, thank you so much for the super chat. We got another one here from Autumn who says, Chris cleaning up that salad has me thinking he's never going to stop cleaning up Candace's mess. Ooh, now that was interesting. Very interesting. Thank you for that super chat. Now, so we get Chris cleaning. Speaking of Chris cleaning up the salad, okay. Have y'all ever spilled salad on the floor? And if you have not, let me explain something to you. Cleaning salad up off the floor is really a hard task to do, okay? Because what you don't know is the salad sticks to the floor. It don't matter what type of leaf it is, especially a flimsy leaf, and it looked like the salad was filled with flimsy leaf. Now, it could have been some Crispies up in there, but the leaves looked a little flimsy, okay? And so, well, I don't know. They had to be kind of crispy in order for them to fly across the room like that when they was throwing it at each other. So I don't know. But what I will say is when that lettuce hits the floor, it sticks, okay? So it's not an easy task to clean up that lettuce. And I feel so bad for Chris, but I felt like, I admire the fact that he was up in there trying to clean, okay? Anyway, Ashley comes into the kitchen. And Chris, being the gentleman, says, you know what, Ashley? Congratulations on the new baby. You look great. I follow you on Instagram, and everything is all good with us. Okay. She's appreciative of that, and I like it as well. Okay. I'm cool with it. I'm real cool with that. I liked how he did that. I felt like that was super classy of him. Afro Girl Diary says G should be the 8th house. Well, if we see next week, it looks like he about to reach for that champagne glass. Okay. So Karen, Ashley, and Skylar and Wendy recap the salad tossing in Ashley's room, and she got a big photo of the family in her room. Now, Karen says that she can toss her salad at home. And so then they have to tell her, Karen, you cannot toss your salad on your own. Now, unless you can drop down to your knees and put your head through your through your legs, I don't think, Karen, you can toss your own salad. But they try to explain to her what tossing the salad actually means, and Karen acts like she grossed out and runs from the room. But in my mind, I'm like, Karen, you've been married for umpteen many years. You made me tell me you don't know what tossing the salad is. Ain't nobody ever did that. I don't believe it. Somebody in that marriage did it, because listen, y'all married that long. You're bound to explore your bodies in some way, shape, or form. That's just what I think. I don't know. She could toss her own salad. Mia is in her room. She called to check on her mama, and G passes out snoring. Now, in comes Robin and Giselle, because Ashley gave Robin a major guilt trip. So now they can be a throuple. Now, here's my thing about them rolling on in. You know, they was probably mad as all get out that they had to come on this trip. Mad and humble at the same time, because I am sure if it won't Ashley saying, girl, they doing a doggone thing down here in this house without you, y'all missing out on something. Or if production said, if you don't get your behinds down to the Chesapeake, we're gonna dock you these 2-3 episodes worth of pay. So what you about to do? Okay. And I'm sure they got in their cars and they boot scoot and boogie, because production didn't even give them a driver or nothing like that. They had to get in their own cars and they had to drive on down to the Chesapeake themselves. Okay. And so for me, it was like all this posturing like you weren't gonna come. You only did yourself a disservice, because now you ain't got no bathroom. Okay. Now you ain't got no bathroom. Look at that. Look at that. All right. Alicia says, anyone notice Chris trying to get some screen time? Well, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I like it when the husbands are involved, because I feel like it adds a dynamic to the show that is kind of old school with housewives. And so I'm feeling it though. I'm feeling it. But we thank you so much, Alicia. I appreciate your commentary as well. So I felt like they wanted that check. They knew what they had to do, and they had to get on down. But Robin, I felt like, was like, you know what? I'm here, but y'all not gonna get the best of me. I'm not in a good mood, because she says she on her P, the P word. And she says, you know what? I'm on the P word, and I'm gonna dress like I'm on the P word too. I'm in a bad mood. And I felt like she was dressed like it. I mean, she said, you know what? I'm not even gonna put no effort into none of this. Y'all gonna get me in my leisure suit that I was lounging around in my house before y'all called me. And that's all y'all gonna get this weekend. How about that? I ain't gonna even do my hair. How about that? How about that? But I'm here. Hey, actually, when I'm in the scene later, I'm gonna be on the phone the entire time. How about that? Okay. So anyway, Chris has to carry Giselle's stuff up to the room, because she done broke a toe and everything. And Robin and for you know what I thought to myself, at least they had that crab cake on the bed, because Skylar had just left the crab cake just laying on the bed. I was like, not only do they get the rooms with the twin beds, but they get the room with the twin beds, no bathroom, and some leftovers left on the bed. Anyway, Candace runs out to greet Robin and Giselle, and Robin scoops up Candace in a big old hug. And then they go into the room and recap the salad tossing incident. Now, Giselle and Robin try to coach and educate, Candace on why the yo mama joke was not good for this particular group. Okay. Candace claims that everyone comes for her mama. And I was sitting there thinking, but I don't think that's true. I don't think any of the ladies has said, I don't recall any of them talking about her mama like that. And even in the community of Bravo fans, at least from what I see, I don't recall anybody speaking negatively of Mama Dot either. Because I feel like we know I'm not going to talk about nobody's mama on this show like that. So that's just me in general, right? So anyway, Candace also thinks that Mia calling her video low budget and Candace calling her mama low budget are equivalent. And that is my issue, is that they're not the equivalent. Yes, I feel like Mia was wrong for calling her video low budget. She should never have done that. But the two are not the same. And I feel like they tried to educate her on that as well. Now, she also equates Mia asking her mama questions to Mia coming for her mama, which just is not true because everybody there was asking and talking and doing all kinds of stuff with Miss Mama Dot because what else was she there for then other than to interact with the ladies? And of course, everybody was asking questions of Mama Dot at the time because Mama Dot also had some feelings about the video. Well, not really the video shoot, but really Chris in general. So then when Candiace does finally hear that Mia was crying, she is shocked that Mia was so upset about the mama comment. And then she claims that she did not know about Mia's mama trauma at the time. You know, in her confessional, she does say that if she had known, she would have just, read Mia's feet or hands and she would not have come for her mama. But it was interesting in the moment, and I get it, it was in the moment, so she was angry, so nothing probably was going to get through to her. But in the moment when Karen and Mia were trying to talk to her about it, she said she didn't care, and she kept screaming she didn't care. So that was interesting as well. Mel J says, sidetrack, are you still visiting South Africa in December? And I hope it's Cape Town. There's nothing like my mother city. Yes, Mel J, I will be in Cape Town in the month of December. I am super excited. I cannot wait. And I am, I will be also blogging about it as well. We got a Dehende07 who says, Candiace had every right to clap back at Mia. If Mia mom's relapsed, then she will only have herself to blame. Mia brought her mom on here for a storyline. A couple of things. I don't think that they're equivalent. I think that Candiace does have a right to clap back. Absolutely. But I think what everyone is trying to express is that there is or should be a line that they have all agreed not to cross. And that's what Giselle and Robin are trying to educate her on. Although even for them and for the rest of the ladies, sometimes that line is murky as well. Now, I do have to say that when you bring on a parent, you are correct to a certain degree. When you bring on a parent, does that open them up for criticism? Yes, it does. But I also think, too, it is up to us as fans or as a community who watch the show to ultimately have the wherewithal to say that we're not going to really come for them in the same way that we may judge the actual characters on the show, mostly because, or out of respect for the fact that that is also someone's, elder mom, if that makes any sense. I hope it does. But thank you for the super chat, and I definitely appreciate your opinion because it matters as well. Now, Wendy comes into the room to welcome the ladies, but Giselle wants to know what a bathroom is. And Wendy's like, it's not a bathroom in here. Giselle is like, do you see one? Wendy's basically like, well, girl, I don't know what to tell you. You should have got here earlier. And comes Ashley to break up the tension. Because ultimately, what Wendy is saying is correct. Okay, it was almost like the producer said, Ashley, get in there right now. Okay, bring some shots, break up the tension. And they all take the shots. And Wendy's kind of like, well, you know what, guys, I'm out of here. Peace. Figure out the bathrooms for yourselves. So Giselle and Robin end up having to hopefully use Ashley's bathroom, because that's what any good throuple would do. Use their bathrooms, okay? But let me tell you something. I was so tickled when Giselle said, do you see one? Oh, God. It was funny. And as she said it, the producers are zooming in on her boot, on her foot, giving us see, this is what I like about Potomac. The producers knew show, don't tell, right? It would have been almost formulaic for Giselle to say, I have a boot on my foot. I cannot walk down the stairs all the time. Instead of saying that, the producers simply zoomed in on that foot to let us know, oh, you can't even get down the stairs. Okay. It was just, again, it's poetic the way they filmed this, the way they edited it. And it just brings me so much joy that the producers are so insightful that they capture these moments. It's just genius to me. It's just genius. Anyway, Wendy and Eddie are coordinating in their matching outfits for dinner. All right. Oh, we got a super chat here. Charles says, if Candace was so hurt by what happened last year, why is she threatening someone about last year? I've been through that. As if she beat someone down. Monique was my favorite. Thank you so much, Charles, for that super chat. We appreciate that. JD, you had a super chat as well. I didn't see it. Sorry, the chats move very, very fast. Please charge that to my mind and not my heart. I'm trying to go back up and it won't let me go back up. My apologies for that. Sorry, y'all. It's like it's very fast. And I'm looking at my notes as well. So please forgive me. It's not on purpose. It's definitely not on purpose. Let me get back to it. All right. G is on the bus already, and he confuses. Oh, we got another one from Alicia who says, but even if they hadn't gotten there earlier, Wendy assigned the order in which they could pick their room, so they probably would have been last. Possibly true. However, the thing about it was when Karen asked where she was sleeping later on after the fight, Wendy just told her, pick whatever room you want. So I almost feel like all of the room order situation went out the window. I don't know if you guys caught that when Karen said, where am I sleeping? And Wendy just said, pick whatever room you want. I don't know. Danny says they're mad at you for not reading their super chats. You listen, I'm trying. JD, thank you so much for forgiving me. I see your hearts. Thank you so much. And if you repeat it, JD, I will try to say it as well. I hate missing that type of stuff. Y'all know that. I really love when y'all comment. So thank you, JD. I didn't miss that one. I got those hearts right there. Let's see. So Giselle, Karen, and Ashley are in the back of the Sprinter van as they're on the way to dinner. Okay. They're on and to me, I enjoy Karen and Giselle even more when they are not beefing. And it was so nice to see them just having a fun moment with them trying to educate Karen on what a tea bag was. Like she didn't know. Anyway, in her confessional, she's abhorred by this teabagging talk. And she says they talk so familiar about this teabagging stuff. You know they do it. I rewound that about 3-4 times because it was just funny to me. She was just like, they so familiar with it. You know they at home doing it. You know they are, as she's looking down her nose at them with judgment. Wait, is salad tossed in front? Oh, King says, I thought salad tossing salad was the front and not the back. Oh God. Woo. G finally wakes up and he's trying to spell out GVO, GOV, LDBTH, or whatever it needs to be. And it's interesting when you guys watch, if you replay it, because I had to rewind it several times. Everybody's having fun on the bus, except for Robin. And it's interesting to see, even though Candace says she felt like she got picked last in dodgeball for having to sit next to Mia on the bus. If you watch, you can see the two of them interacting with each other. And I thought that was really nice to see because, it was just like, okay, it gave me hope in that moment that maybe the two of them would be able to just drink and put their feelings to the side. You know what I'm saying? And not continue to go at it. But apparently that's not going to happen. So JD says, my comment, I bet Candace didn't like all that cheesing Chris was doing after talking to Ashley in the kitchen And can you send Chris some argan oil, Richie? Y'all so silly. JD, you know what? I'm not playing with y'all. I'm not playing with y'all today. Okay. Thank you for that. And I again apologize. I didn't see your super chat earlier. Thank you for telling me that, y'all. G is very drunk. Okay. Robin wants to go to a hotel when they finally get to dinner. There are some guys who are apparently, it's a table of white guys analyzing or ogling Giselle and the rest of the ladies at the table. Ashley points this out to Giselle in the hopes that maybe she can hook Giselle up and give her some, have her get some loving on the trip or something like that. You know, invite some of the guys into the throuple or whatever. But the guys end up buying the whole table full of the Real Housewives of Potomac cast shots. But we learn that the guys' wives are sitting behind the group and they didn't bother to get their wives nothing. Now, the group is like, now why y'all didn't get y'all wives no shots? But that's not the question I'm asking. The question I'm asking myself is why they not sitting together? Why are y'all sitting over here? Why the boys sitting over here? The girls are sitting over here. Why y'all segregated like y'all in kindergarten or something like that? Why y'all not sitting at one table together? Or y'all should have split these couples up or something like that. It was just interesting to me. You know, and Wendy does end up getting the table of wives some shots or whatever they want. You know what I'm saying? And Karen has to go over there and, you know, be the elder spokesperson and tell those young men, if y'all don't get your wife a YSL purse or something like that, y'all buying us shots. We rich. We can afford our own. Buy your wife something, okay? We the Real Housewives of Potomac, okay? Anyway, they get more shots. Just connect your BR to the car. It's not hooked to your house yet. Oh, the bedroom. Y'all so silly. Okay. I saw a super chat. Southern Lady says Monique's still paying this channel. No, boo, YouTube pays, and it pays well. Thank you, boo. All right. So we get Ashley asking Chris if he thought that he should be trying to de-escalate the situation between Candiace and Mia earlier. Now, Chris lets it be known that he cursed her out and he wants the guys to always be okay. And I really appreciate the fact that he really wants a good relationship with the guys. You know what I'm saying? I really appreciate that. Jay Bentley says, okay, I'm confused about the hate for Mia's mom. Simply being on a show doesn't warrant cruelty. Mia has every right to show her triumph. Candy knew the extriparies weren't sticking and went lower. Mia gagged her. Thank you so much for the super chat, Jay Bentley. Okay. Now, Chris even says he wants to be okay with Michael. Now, Ashley goes back to how Michael has feelings about how Chris conducts himself. Chris feels like he's not talking ish about Michael, but Ashley says Candiace has. We get flashbacks of Michael and Chris going at it. Then we get to the slave driver comment, okay? But slave driver was really overseer, as we have discussed. I think it was on Saturday. And Ashley asked if Candiace is calling her a slave. All right. Glenda says those guys wanted their 2 seconds of fame. That's probably why they sent them shots. They wanted that camera to pan over there to them because they wanted to be on that TV. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was. You hit the nail on the head, Glenda. I know that's what it was. Oh, Jessica said guys, night and girl. Okay. You know what, Jessica? That part right there. That kind of makes more sense. Guys night and girls night, but they are still able to all go out together. That's actually a nice little idea. I like that. Okay, I really, really like that. The Hicks World says, scroll up to my previous super chat. LOL. I can't. Ooh, hold on. Who. Let me see if I can scroll up and find it. Oh, the time up love says, oh, I saw that one. That was, I can't scroll up and get to it, the Hicks World. My bad. If you put it up on the screen again, somebody will let me know that you put it back up, and you ain't got to super chat it. Mirage 2004 says, Monique, don't have to pay anything over here. Keep it cute when coming for Richie. I'll pull up. LOL. I mean, I mean, come on now. Like, everybody can have their own mind and opinion without somebody paying them, and it don't even make no sense to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's, I mean, I've never understood that. Nobody has to pay for people to like them. Okay. Moving on. So Candace, Ashley wants to know this Candace consider her a slave, and Candace says, I didn't say he was a slave driver, but he does drive his slaves. Irony. Clecia says, I just want to say that me and my friends all love your videos. Love from Amsterdam, the Netherlands, but originally from Suriname, South America. Thank you, boo. We appreciate you when we send love right back to you, boo. All right. Ashley tells her, you don't even know how to be a civil human being. Then Ashley says it was Candace who put her hands in Mia's face. I say that's debatable because it was really Mia who put her hands in Candace's face and asked, what you going to do about it? As Candace has to explain to her, listen, the hand thing, it don't work in this group, okay? I've been there before and it don't work. So really, it was Mia who did that. And it's funny to me that Ashley in this moment didn't see that, but she was in the room, right? So she got that wrong. Now, again, it is ironic that the tables have turned and it is Candace who is educating someone else about putting their hands in their face and where that could possibly lead. Now, it was ironic, but I will say that it was indeed Mia who put the hand in their face, okay? But Candace was pointing, maybe that's what Ashley was referring to. I don't know, but that's how I saw it. Leandra says, how can Candace say those borderline racist things to Ashley and she's married to a white man? So is Chris an overseer as well? That's why I said this was ironic to me, because the basis for this insult is that you are married to a white man. Uno reverse. You're married to a white man. Okay, so it's just like, why are we doing that? How is that an insult? I don't really get it. Now we get a flashback of Mia putting her hand in Candace's face and Candace warning about what happened last year. Then we get a flashback of Candace putting her hand in Monique's face and Monique telling her to get her hand out of her face. The bottom line to me, and I wrote this down, is the realization that invading physical space on these shows is triggering. And that's what really we all need to come away with in this moment, is it's triggering. And there has to be some accountability on Candace's part, at least now looking back on it, for saying like, okay, you know what? I now know how it feels to have somebody putting their hands in my face. And I saw what happened and I'm trying to warn somebody else. So that was, to me, again, it was a bit of growth. And that's where I think that's where we leave it. Ashley points out that Candace is the common denominator in the fights that have occurred. Now then Candace calls Ashley a foul, effed up individual for involving herself in Candace and Monique's struggles, their legal issues. As I suspected, I felt like the issue between Candace and Ashley really stems a lot from the fact that Candace is hurt that Ashley wrote the letter for Monique in favor of her and not in support of Candace. Not that she wanted Ashley to write a letter for her, but I think that it was just that Ashley was still supporting Monique that bothers Candace the most. So I think that's where their issues currently lie. Giselle tries to intervene and say that Ashley didn't start the fight last year. At this point, Candiace is kind of becoming a little bit unhinged, and Chris has to try to calm her down, and she's kind of, putting up a little bit of a fight, trying to, make her point. So they try to calm Chris down, and it's interesting to me that they focus in this moment on Chris. Everybody in the group is like, Chris, sit down, Chris, sit down, Chris, sit down. But in my mind, I felt like, and y'all can tell me if I'm wrong, I felt in my spirit like he was trying to do the right thing. But how did it look to you as an audience? Was that a tussle, or should he not have done that? Or was he trying to do the right thing? In my mind, I felt like he was just trying to sort of prevent her from getting riled up. But I think from the women's perspective, they didn't like the way it looked. That's what I gathered, because they were all screaming, Chris, sit down, Chris, sit down, Chris, sit down, Chris, sit down. So I don't know. And as a result, he ended up having to walk off and cool himself off, because again, I think this is one of those blurred line situations where you can look at it from a couple of different perspectives. And I know that a lot of people aren't going to like what they see when they saw that moment. But again, I think he was trying to maybe comfort her / pull her away, but the optics of it may have just definitely come across very wrong to a lot of people. Regardless, it was just a huge blow up, another huge blow up, involving Candiace. And I wish in that moment that she could have put her anger for Ashley to the side. And I felt like she should have gone after her man, because that was the important thing in that situation. Is this argument with Ashley insulting Mia and G is not important as making sure your man is okay, because clearly he's upset. And I was thinking to myself, girl, when are you gonna get up from the table, stop arguing with these girls, and get to finding out where your man went? It gets to the point where Dre, who was a Skylar's husband, has to go find Chris and, actually have a conversation with him. So it was uncomfortable for me to watch. It was a cringy moment. And I know it had to be cringy for the rest of the group to watch as well. But while Chris has walked out, Candiace calls Ashley a B. And Ashley Candiace calls her a B and then tells Ashley she can suck her D. Ashley claps back about Candiace's giant poon. And then Candiace says, that's your friend, basically pointing at Mia. Then she starts to go in on Mia and G, and then G being her benefactor. And once again, she's pulling the husband into the mix of the argument, where really her focus to me should be, let me go out and find out where my man is. I mean, that's what I think. But, whatever it is, Robin, who finally has decided to get off the phone, okay, is looking like, in her confessional, she's like, I'm not surprised by any of this. Giselle, Robin, and Ashley all feel like, because Candiace finally does go out and try to find Chris. And then Giselle, Robin, and Ashley all feel like Candiace has not learned any lesson, and that everything that she went through last year was in vain. And they surmise that she's holding on to things from last year. And even Robin says something to the effect, and it was a quiet moment. She said something to the effect like she felt almost like, or she questioned whether or not Candiace was, baiting people. It was ironic to me that they felt that way, because Giselle says in her confessional that, after everything Candiace went through last year, why is it that she finds herself in this predicament yet again? That's the question that they have. So, interestingly enough, Candiace goes outside, she talks to Chris, and I kind of feel like he babied her in that moment, but as a man, what else are you going to do? I feel like in that moment, and I don't mean because she's a woman, I just mean that your spouse has come in, she's clearly upset, you're upset, but you don't want to upset the situation any further. And so whether you are a man or a woman, I feel like the only thing you're probably going to do in that moment is try to coddle them and make them feel better. So we had another super chat from the Hende07 who says, you're at the year nobody discussed who the messiest person is on the show. Ashley and her cheating philanthropist husband is straight up trash. Thank you so much for that super chat. I'm going to talk about Ashley in just 1 second. We're going to get to her, trust and believe. So oddly, when Chris and Candiace walked back in, everyone, including Mia and G, check on them to ask them if they are okay, if they're good, that they're feeling all right, and we kind of end the episode. Now, something that I will say is this. I kind of feel like Ashley knows what she's doing when she presses Candiace's buttons. I think what she said is something that needed to be said, but I don't think it necessarily needed to be said by her. It wasn't going to be taken well. And I think that Ashley also knew that because she spent a lot of time, kind of on the sidelines this season, that she needed a moment to come in and get the party started. Ashley and Candiace continue to be the perfect foils for each other because they both know how to get under each other's skin. And I do believe that Ashley knew that she was I'm going to poke at this bear and we're going to see what happens. Okay. So I feel like she knew that she was going to get Candiace riled up, and true to form, she does. So, Ashley is not without blame in this situation either because she is self-proclaimed messy. So I feel like she also kind of stirred the pot in that situation at dinner, and she kind of provoked and pushed that situation as well because she knew, again, Candiace was going to react because they know how to push each other's buttons. So this is why it's also interesting to see whether or not Ashley and Candiace will make up at the reunion, as people are sort of surmising based on the clues that we've gotten online and social media. So I'll be interested in seeing how that works out. Additionally, something that was said on Watch What Happens Live, and we may talk about this a little bit more tomorrow, but something that was said on Watch What Happens Live was when asked about the husbands, Andy asked Ashley which husband she felt like had the most explaining to do at the reunion. And she said Eddie, which is interesting to me that we're going back down that rabbit hole with the Wendy and the Eddie rumors. It's like, I thought that you guys said that you didn't believe it. So if you don't believe it, if you don't believe the stories, then why do you feel like he has so much explaining to do? That kind of, I was a little bit shocked by that. Let me see if I missed anything. Oh, Mirage 2004 says, sorry, but I give Candiace and Chris maybe 5 more years and he is going to leave. There's only so much he can take. Candiace is too much to deal with. Thank you, Mirage, for that super chat. Appreciate you. We got another one from Jay Bentley who says, Candiace doesn't respect that man. Notice Ashley peeped an opening after her combo with Chris and took it. She's calculating, laughing my head off. Laughing my ass off. I do feel like she kind of said, you know what? Let's talk about this a little bit more. You was real nice to me while you was cleaning up that lettuce. Now I want to have a discussion about you and my husband, okay? Who, interestingly, was not there. But we know it won't be long before Michael is back on the scene because we've seen in the super trailer that him and Chris are going to go at it again. So we'll see how that turns out. Mountain Mountain Kitty says Ashton knew the assignment. Oh yeah, she came in. I feel like she came in and said, you know what? I'm gonna earn this check today. Um Erica, see you reading my mind, baby. Erica said that was a arugula leaf, and I hope there wasn't any dressing on it, because you know that lettuce was gonna be hard to get up. You can't even sweep that up. You got to go around and pick up them pieces of lettuce one by one with your hands. Trust me, I know. I wasted some salad. I wasted some salad last week. Just being a dummy. Wasted it. Won't look at what I was doing, and there I am picking up spinach leaves off the floor because it's stuck to the floor. Y'all know how salad do. Y'all know how they do. Mm-mm-mm. I think we had another super chat. Maybe we didn't. I don't know. Y'all know, please charge it to my mind and not my heart. Andrea says, I'm so sick of this. I think Chris knew the assignment and the ladies were asking him to sit down only to calm her down. Candiace is unbearable. She called Ashley a hard B. Not a hard B. She's problematic AF. Thank you so much for that super chat, Andrea. Yeah, y'all, this was a good episode. Honestly, this is probably when the season is done and I don't have to, and Sunday nights are a little bit lighter. I am going to go back and watch these 3 episodes and the 3 Williamsburg episodes again, because I just felt like when I'm taking notes, I'm studying the episodes. So sometimes I'm not just watching it casually and just sitting back and laughing and enjoying it. And so I want to watch these 3 episodes in particular, from the Reasonably Shady to last week and this week, because I really feel like I need to relive these moments and just be able to sit back and laugh and enjoy and realize how iconic these 3 episodes are going to go down in history as being for the Real Housewives of Potomac. And I think we recall back when seasons, 4, 5, 6, and 7 of Atlanta, and we recognize now through memes and past clips when they're posted, the absolute greatness of that period of time of Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I can go back and watch those seasons and enjoy the immense amount of shade that's thrown. And I feel like these are going to be this is going to be the same way that we feel about Real Housewives of Potomac in a couple of years. So I really am super excited, to see how we all look back on these episodes in the next couple of years, as we realize that this probably, in my opinion, as I stated on Good Day DC this morning, is probably the best season of a Real Housewives franchise that's on currently. My take on it. That's just my take. So with that being said, guys, I will see you again at 2 p.m. We're going to recap the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City with Adam from Up and Adam. We're going to talk about episode 5. We're going to get into Jen and Brooke's sit down, Lisa's sit down with Whitney, and we're going to talk about all that at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I want you guys to come back and join in if you feel like having a conversation about that. Andrea says, child, I watched last night's episode. Last three episodes about 3 or 4 times each. I seen so much that I missed the first 2 times. Exactly. That's how I feel, Andrea. I want to be able to watch these back. The Hicks World says Candiace is insecure about her finances because not long ago was her mom paying her and Chris's bills. So she may have some triggers with budget. And that could be definitely true too. And I feel like it's important to acknowledge that there's a trigger there that somebody that Mia may be hitting. And I feel like it's important to investigate that. There's no shame in having a trigger. But I think it's also important to understand what it is and how not to react from it, as Chris stated to her, because if you're insecure about something, you're going to react like that. And he doesn't want her to do that anymore. So I would love to see a bigger and larger discussion of what that actually is, because I think that through maybe understanding what that is, she may come out of this situation a lot better and more and a different person because of it. But that's it for the tea, y'all, for today. We will catch you guys in the next video.